Please let me know once you are able to see it. Is my screen visible now? Hello? 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 Yeah, Kusman, am I audible? यार इसको क्या हो जाए? Hello? Hello? Am I audible? Now also it's not audible? Okay. Okay, no problem. Yeah. So let's go back where we left. Yeah, so till here we have covered. Okay. Now, today we discuss this R3 architecture, right? So R3 is also an old architecture actually. Okay. Earlier, let me note it down somewhere. Okay, R1, R2, then come R3, and then we have S4 HANA. Okay. So before R3, we had two more, you can say, version of the SAP actually. One was R1 architecture, then we had R2, then we had R3. R3 architecture was very successful actually. That we can call it as a ECC system also. Okay, ECC version, and then we have S4. Okay, so four denotes two things actually. First is version number, you can see, because you see this nomenclature 1 2 3, so it becomes S4. Okay, another thing is it's a four tier kind of, you can say, architecture it has. So if someone asks you what is R3, then you need to tell that example what we discussed yesterday. Just give me 1 second this one. Let me share my screen again. Yeah. So as of now, whenever we are using the SAP, we are using the software, right? This GUI software. You see SAP GUI for Windows. So if someone has to use SAP, as I said, this is nothing but your some sort of ANIDES kind of software, right? So if someone has to use SAP till ECC, they had to use this GUI. And where you can install this GUI software? Any laptop only or any desktop computer only, right? In tablet you cannot install it because it's a Windows application, or what do you call, iOS application, that it will be installed only on the laptop. That cannot be installed on the mobile or in your tablet or anywhere, right? But in Fiori, you can use it via any browser. Okay. The only difference, there are few basic difference actually. It helps you to access SAP from anywhere. As I said, it's a web-based or Fury, what do you call, browser-based application. So you can use it from anywhere. Another advantage in Fury, when you prepare some data in GUI, you will not have what do you call, visual representation. Let's say bar and pie chart. Okay, those kind of data you cannot see in the GUI method. But in Fury, those data appear very, what do you call, illustrative. It helps the management to see, because even when I'm working at the top level management in a company, I don't want to see the number. I always say, give me the chart so that I can easily understand. Okay, in the March or in the April, my sales went up or went down. So it's chart. It's very easy to analyze that at a level data at a higher level, right? So that for that purpose also, few people use for Fury. Okay, and there are some other advantages also, but we will see. So Fury, we use it via browser, any browser you can use. So when you are using browser, you can access via your mobile, tablet, anything. Wherever the browser is running, you can access your SAP. Okay. The look and feel will be slightly different. Let me log into Fury. Let me first log into this GUI, then we'll see. Uh, but as a consultant, I don't recommend. I mean, I don't use actually. I not say not. I don't recommend. I don't use it because whatever config we consultant do, right, that anyway you will be doing in this traditional GUI method only, because in Fury you cannot do configs. Okay. Now the T code slash n slash UI2 slash FLP, I think. Let's see. Yeah. Now see, system has brought me to the browser. This is browser only, right? You see, edge browser. This was my GUI method. Now I am using via browser. I can use the same ID password. Let's hope it works. You see, SAP has logged in. Now you can use this SAP from Fury. The another difference when you use this in GUI, to do anything, you need T codes, right? Like VA01 or VA11, all those stuff, right? In Fury, let me close this Chrome. Yeah. Now in Fury, when you have to create something, there are apps actually. All these tiles you see, right? Display material. It is MM03 only. Okay. If you click display material, it will take you to the same screen. Maybe the look and feel will be slightly different, but eventually the data or whatever you see is the same only. You see, we can put some material, we can select the org view, which views you want to see. If I go to M03, or let us go to M03 in GUI. See, first is asking me material, let's say any material. Then it asks me the views, right? Which view I want to see the data. Same goes here also. Let's say I'm putting TG1296 underscore. I can select the views. What was the material? TG12 underscore 96. TG12 underscore 96. F. Okay. You see, the only difference, as I said, look and feel. You can zoom in out, zoom in and zoom out, and this is another advantage which I use sometimes, because in GUI you cannot zoom in and zoom out. Whatever it is appearing, it will appear as it is. Okay, but in Fury, that advantage I see, that I can zoom in and zoom out. You see, if you scroll down, it is zooming in. So sometimes when you have a large data appearing on your screen and I want to analyze the whole data at once, so that time sometimes the Fury is useful. Okay. Now, as I said, these all are tiles. If you click on SAP, it will take you to the home screen. Sorry, come again. I couldn't hear you. Both, see, in HANA, as I said, in HANA you can use this. HANA you can use GUI also, as well as Fury also. Okay, but in R3, till R3 we only had ECC. I mean GUI method only. Okay, let me put it like this. Uh, okay, so till R3 we have only had the option that GUI method. As I said, you need to have this software installed, and where you can install, in any laptop only. This software you cannot install anywhere, right? In tablet, mobile, you cannot install it. But if it's a web based, now you see it's a what you call URL, right? Any browser it will work. So it's like on the go. If you're traveling also, you don't have your laptop or system, you don't need your what you call basically a computer to access SAP. Okay. So that was the big advantage in Fury. Now as I said, in GUI, whatever we do, either we need to go to via that SPRO kind of path, or you need to remember the T code, right? Let's say order. We need to have VA01, right? But in Fury, there will be some app. As I said, these all tiles, whatever you see, these all are different apps. You can search your app via this button. Okay, you click here. Now you can search. Since we are trying for sales order, let's type something sales. Hmm, manage sales order. Manage sales order is there, but let's see whether we have create sales order or not. Yeah, we have here. So this is app for creating the sales order. Okay, now you see there are two ways actually. If you see, as I said, Fury is very new, and SAP gives updates to this Fury time to time. Okay, so maybe you are seeing something here, but if you use a, a little older version of Fury, then you will not see this option. You see sales order VA01. It is also VA01 only, but in completely Fury look and feel. And this is also VA01, but it will look more like a GUI method. Okay, let's see 1 minute. Let me open both actually, then you will understand. If I click on this one, the first one, here also we need to search, right? Search. Now you see, this is completely Fury kind of stuff. Here also it is asking basically the same data. You see the sales order type, sales or distribution channel division that we see in Fury also, right? Order type, sales or distribution channel division, same thing, but only the field is different now. And if you go to this one, this is also Fury, but since we clicked on that VH01 option, so you are using Fury, but look and feel will be more of a GUI method. Okay. Now let's try to put some data. Z over 9. That only we are using, right? Z over 9 only, right? Why it is not coming? Wait, let us see what was the. Yeah, Z over 9 only. Okay, let's see. Z over 9. Sales of what is the sales of we have? Yeah, ZORG, ZC, ZT, ZORG. Please it. Wait, why it is not taking ZOR9? Okay, you have to type in caps. There's something wrong actually. See, here we can use it. Anyway, let's not go to that level. So basically, we are trying to understand how Fury looks like, right? So this is how Fury looks like. The T code you can use. Uh, if you have the path, you can open that path, and then you can give your ID password, right? That path will be given you by the security team or basis team. You can use your ID password. If you don't have, you can log into SAP GUI method. Then you can use this T code, okay? /n/GUI2/FLP. So it takes you to the browser method or Fury method only. Okay, you can use the same ID password, it will work. Mostly it will work, but in real world it may not work also, because what happens sometimes, this Fury is costly. Okay, that you, as a company has to take licenses and all. So sometimes company uh, and even SAP also charges as per the ID number. Okay, let's say if you are taking license for 100 user, so that ID is limited. So sometimes we don't get, or some user don't get the Fury access. Okay, so it's not always mandatory that if you can use SAP via this GUI method, so you can also use via Fury. Okay, sometimes it is restricted. Even the access also is completely different. Maybe if you can create sales order in GUI method, but if you try to create in sales order in Fury, you may get some error that you don't have access and all. Okay, this access control is completely different. But this is what, as I said, Fury is basic. As a basic difference, here we have to remember the tiles name or the app names. If you don't remember, that's also fine. You can create. You can type here. Let's say for delivery, whatever we have. You see, display delivery, change outbound delivery, right? Let's say I'm trying something for inquiry. Sorry, Kusman. You can use this one. See, as I said, this is mostly used by the business person. Okay, we consultant we cannot do whatever we do as a consultant, the configuration and all that we cannot do it. Okay, so I never use it in the real world. It's not something that training you will get in GUI, training you will get in Fury. You can use this, as I said, when the configuration and all whatever we are doing, we will be doing in GUI only. That's not possible in Fury. Okay, it's not something we cannot do. In SAP only we cannot do it. So as a consultant, this GUI method is only useful for us. As I said, for creation of sales order, if you want to use Fury, that's fine. You can go here and you can use that one. But I don't use it because I said I don't like this. This is very slow actually. Sometimes I feel it very slow. That if you type something, it takes some time. So I don't like it actually. Okay, I don't know for some reason inquiry is not coming maybe. And also one more thing you see. Let's say if you're trying to find some app and if you're not able to find it, no, then it could be case of access also or authority also. Maybe I don't have the access of this inquiry, so I will not be even able to see this one. Okay, and These all are views actually. Whatever access I have, those only will be appearing here. I have so many access you see. These all file related stuff and all. If you go here, you will see different tiles. You click here, you can see the apps names also. Okay. So this is nothing but your Fury. Okay. And yeah, let's not talk Fury now. Let's go to our discussion whatever we were discussing. Yeah. So as I said, if someone asks you, can you tell me the architectural hierarchy in SAP? You need to say first R1, then R2, then R3, then S4 HANA. Okay. R3 was very successful actually, so this is why most of the people ask in question in interview, and even today also, no one is using this R1 and R2. Okay, but you will see some companies or some organization who are using this R3 architecture and they are still in ECC. SAP is trying to push them to upgrade their system to S4 HANA. But as I said, it's not that easy to upgrade because there are a lot of data, a lot of business transactions. Also, the cost is also one of the factor when someone is updating from ECC to HANA. So company needs to see all those things also, right? To they also need to consider all those factors before updating to S4 HANA. Okay, because now there is no much difference. But when you are shifting to S/4HANA, a lot of technical work, okay, the company will require a lot of consultant, a migration team, okay, not from the SD, a lot of other module also will require their consultant. They need to configure in S/4HANA if that existing functionality is not there. Let's say customer master, earlier it was XD01 and all, now it's BP. So someone has to do that config in S/4HANA. They need to do some testing. So basically, it's a big project. Actually, it's not that easy. Okay, some sort of software will update it right over the night. No, it's not that easy. So company, the customer, and the company as a company means a customer. Let's say Tata Steel. They don't want to shift to HANA because it's costing, right? Something it will cost to them. And if it's running ECC, why they will switch to HANA, right? Unless until SAP said, now I will not provide support for ECC, they are not moving. Like in phone also we have same, right? Like you have iOS or Android, you get some software update, right? But after 3 4 years, that as what you call the Google or the company, let's say you are using OnePlus phone, maybe they will provide update for some 3 year 4 year, but after that they don't provide. You can use your phone, that's fine. Like in the Windows also provides updates, right? Like now you can, I think Windows 10 is also expired. You can use it, Windows 10, but if anything goes wrong, Windows or Microsoft will not take that responsibility. They'll say, no, this Windows 10 we have already, what do you call, discontinued. If you are using it, it's your own risk. Now I cannot provide support to whatever happened with the laptop or computer running with Windows 10 or XP, right? So similar kind of software, what do you call, this process is here also. SAP, as of now, SAP is supporting ECC and HANA both. But R1, R1 and R2 architecture, SAP has removed the support. Now, maybe in the next 2 or 5 years, 2 3 4 years, SAP will completely remove its support from ECC as well. So now company will have to mandatorily move to S4 HANA. Because what happens when you are running a big software, right? It's ERP. Every data is there in your system, right? The whole business runs on the ERP. If anything goes wrong, company can log a ticket to SAP. They can raise the incident to SAP that was this is wrong happened. You check it what happened. SAP has to provide that support because they are the owner of that software, right? But if some company who are using R2 and then if they go to SAP now and they say, boss, I'm using R2 architecture, I've got this problem, can you fix it? SAP will directly say, no, I will not fix it because we have already discontinued the support. This is all part of license and all, okay? So, as I said, R3 was very famous, so we call it the CCC now in S4 HANA. And also another big difference you can see. These all are technical terms, but as I said in interview, this question may come up to you, so you need to remember. Till R3, okay. Till R3, as I said, we had this option, right? Uh, Database, application, and GUI. Till R3, SAP has given the freedom to the companies to use any database. Okay, like they can use SQL, they can use Oracle. There are different third-party database available. It's something you can say using a, as I said, external hard disk. So you can use any company of hard disk, right? Seagate and Kingston, any hard disk you can use. But in S4 HANA, this option is not there. They have to move it to S4 HANA database only. They cannot use some third party database now in S4 HANA. Okay. The advantage is S4 HANA database is very fast. How it is fast actually? Think of a scenario when you are using external hard disk to store the data. Okay. And if you're using HANA, now let's see the difference. In ECC, what was happening to get some report? Let's say I want to prepare some report. I'm giving a very simple example. Let's say I want to prepare a report how many sales orders were created in the month of February. Then in ECC, what was happening? Let us create three blocks maybe. Uh, okay, let's assume it's a database. This is your application. This is your GUI. So now, as I said, when I'm preparing a report, then I need to fetch the data from database, right? So in ECC, what was happening? The whole data used to shift from database to application, and then application layer only we used to do that calculation, that summation, the date filter, and everything. So whole data was moving from database to application. Then only the application or the SAP was able to prepare the report. Now in S4 HANA, what is happening? S4 HANA database. Let's say this is your S4 HANA database. S4, or you can simply say S4 database. This is too kind of a technical stuff, but you need to understand the advantage why SAP is pushing for S4 HANA and why it is useful and how it is fast. Okay, why it is fast. Now, as I said, I wanted to prepare a report for the sales order whichever got created in the month of February. So, in earlier method, what was happening? It was giving all the sales order, whether it was created in January, February, March, December, November, everything. Then only the application layer was able to put a filter that it only needs the February data. Now, in S4 HANA, it also had their own processor, it also had its own engine. So now, what application layer does here, instead of asking all the data, it sends the logic or the filter to database itself. Let's let's take this example, January, February, or maybe let's take some December, November, and let's say October. Okay. Let's say there were 100 order, here 130, let's say 70 something. Now, when in the ECC method or R3 architecture, what was happening? These all sales order data was supposed to be transferred from database to application. So you had to transfer a lot of data, you see, like almost 466 sales order data you need to transfer from database to application. And whenever you're copying a data from a external hard disk or external pen drive, the amount of data matters, right? How much data you're copying, how much GB, 2 GB, 5 GB, 10 GB, right? It will slow your process. But in S4 HANA, the advantage is application will simply send the logic also that it only needs the February data. So now it will only transfer the data for the database itself will put a filter and it came to know okay so only 35 order were there, so it will not send all this data, only 35 sales order will be copied from database to application. So now you see it's much faster, right? Here we in the first ECC or R3 architecture we were supposed to sell transfer some 466 sales order, you see. Now in HANA we only need to transfer 35 sales order. So which one will be faster? Obviously this will be faster, right? So as for HANA, it has its own engine. They can execute some basic filtration. So the transfer of data from database to application layer is much less. But in the application, in the earlier ECC version, all the data was supposed to be transferred and all the logic part was happening in the application only. So it was very slow. That is another big advantage. And as I said earlier, in ECC you can use any database, SQL, Oracle. There are multiple third-party database software available that you can use. But in HANA, that support is removed and they are forcing it to use S4 HANA database only. Okay. Same version, S4 HANA, same version. HANA is high performance analytical tool application something. You can search it in the Google, that I don't remember actually. And as I said, S4 is simplified. S4 denotes the version. If you see the architecture, one layer, tier, two tier, three. No, there is slightly difference in S4 HANA and HANA. I will tell you. I don't remember exactly to be honest. I will let me find it out. Then maybe tomorrow I will answer you this one. Okay, there is slightly difference. As I say, the thumb rule you can understand when you are using S4 HANA, then everything you are using of SAP software only. But anyway, let's discuss this tomorrow. Okay. But if someone asks you in which system have you worked, you can say that I worked in S4 HANA because whatever we are using here, this is S4 completely S4 HANA only. Okay. There was another way, but let's discuss tomorrow. That I also need to do some refreshing. Then I will answer you because I said these all are technical kind of these things we don't discuss day to day, right? As a consultant, we never discuss this day to day. Most of the things what we do, we go to GUI and we do our configs and we do the testing and also the HANA, S4 HANA, R3, all those things we never discuss. Okay, these all are discussed once in a lifetime kind of stuff. Okay, a company buy the software, then it uses for 20 or 30 years, then only some sort of changes happen, right? But as I said in interview, this question may ask they may ask you what is R3, what is S4, what this S4, what even this 4 denotes here, the database. Okay, so these all maybe they can ask you. Okay, now let's go back. Okay, so these are a few software that SAP provides. We are using this SAP ERP, but there are some other software also. You must have heard that some people are working in CRM. Okay, if someone says they're working in IT or an SAP, so like we are working in SAP ERP, but there is another software CRM. Okay, this SCM, supply chain management. So these all are part of SAP. These are not part of SAP. I would say these are different software provided by the SAP only. But we are using only this when we, as a consultant, will be using this SAP ERP. Okay. Now SAP SD. Okay. So now as what is SAP SD? SAP SD is a module. Okay. Like in company also, you must have seen there are different departments, right? A manufacturing department, procurement department, maintenance department, right? Uh, then plant maintenance department, then sales department, right? Logistic department. We have different department in companies. So in SAP we have different modules. Okay, SAP SD, as the name suggests, anything related to the sale and services that will be covered in SAP SD. When I say services, it's not a kind of service order. Service orders are covered in PM. When I say service, that means I'm talking about the sales perspective, right? In GST also, you must have heard this term GST, right? In India we have GST. So goods and service tax. So whether you are selling some goods or you are selling some service, that all comes under your SAP SD. There are different processes. As I said, creation of the order, the pricing, the picking, packing, the shipment, then the billing, right? The risk management, whether the customer is paying on time or not, the customer is a high risk customer, low risk customer, those all things are covered in SAP SD. Okay, now let's go back. And now here if you see there are so many different modules we have. Like I said, in company we have different department. In SAP we call it module. Okay, some sort of symmetry you can say. Like you see SD, who is taking care of your sales process. MM, if any company is running, they also need to procure some raw material, right? Then only they will produce some finished good, right? So you need to buy something. So that buying for company, that process or that part is being handled by the MM team, okay, material management team or procurement team, okay, or purchase department. These are all different terms these people use. Like in old SD, sometimes they say SD, sometimes they call OTC, okay, order to cash, because our process starts from order, right? Some customer will place order to your company. Then where your process will end once we get the cash. So OTC process. As I said, MM, then we have PP, production planning, the team which produces the material, plant maintenance, HR. When you are working, there definitely will have some employee, right? The HR person, the service engineer, the shift engineer, shift supervisor, right? Sales employee. So all those are nothing but your HR. These all things you can handle in HR. The payment related stuff, all those things. Quality management, right? Now CEO is also one of the module. Finance is also one of the biggest modules. So these three, if you see SD, MM, FI, okay, these are like kind of a core module actually. Okay, this PP, PM, maybe some company will see that the PP module is not there, or let's say PM module is not there. Let's say let's take example of Amazon or Flipkart, right? They are not doing any kind of maintenance activity, right? Because they don't have machines. So why they will need maintenance module? So there you will not see this plant maintenance. Also, uh, Amazon, Flipkart, they are selling services, right? They get the material from someone. Let's say I can also become a seller in Flipkart and Amazon, right? If I'm producing something, I can list myself as a seller and I can sell my product. So here also the production is not happening in Amazon. So maybe if Amazon decides to use SAP, they will not require this PP module, PM module, all this they will not require, right? So this is how you sometimes in some company you will see few modules are not there because they are not using that process. That's why you don't see it. FI, CO, okay, PSC project system. Then there is another sort of software that SAP also provides apart from SAP ERP traditional software, industry specific solution. Okay, because what happens actually earlier it was not there. Now after some time SAP realized that few industry the business process requires some sort of what do you call modification in the traditional ERP. So let's say IS retail. Retail means like you see this big bazaar and all this clothing industry, right? So that industry works completely different. They will sell some sort of goods like t-shirts, small, medium, large, and color, black color, pink color, yellow color, anything. So that industry mostly work in this field only. So for SAP, what SAP did actually, SAP provided some specific software to some specific industry like oil industry, okay, retail industry, their banking industry. Okay, if you see, maybe I must have shown you something. Uh, yeah, you see, there are so many industry specific software SAP has provided. You see, banking soft business is completely different. What SAP, what Tata Steel is doing, right? Chemical industry, defense security, media, mining, oil and gas. You see, this retail, because these all are doing business, but the doing that business process is completely different for all these companies, right? To meet that requirement, SAP has provided a specific solution software that this company can use it. Okay, so let's go back. So as I said, these all are what do you call various modules. Few modules you need to able. If someone asks apart from SD, what are the other modules? You need to say MM, PP, FI, okay, PM, QM also required sometimes. CO sometimes the company use, sometimes they don't use it, but finance will be there. Finance is a mandatory kind of thing. CO sometimes, as I said, some company will use CO, some company will not use CO. Okay. So here you can see few of the module. There are multiple modules actually, and we are into the training of SAP SD. SAP SD is like, as I said, it's a very core module because if any company is doing business, they will sell something, right? If you are not selling, then it's not business, right? Any business, retail, big bazaar, Tata Steel, okay, cement factory or any power plant, anything, they are selling something. Then that's what we call business, right? You produce something and then you sell it. So this is very core module actually, SAP SD. Okay, these are a few modules we had. Now, apart from the functional, whatever module you see, right? These all modules we work actually. We means a functional consultant will be working. Now, there are some technical modules also. We will be working as a functional. So, what a functional consultant do? We map the business, whatever that company is doing, into SAP. Okay, so our primary job is to map the business process in SAP. If it is a standard process, we can use any standard SAP provided solution, we can use it. If that process is not there, we have to change the software. So then you need some development team, right? Let's say you are creating a billing, right? You must have seen billing for Amazon, billing from Flipkart, billing from Big Bazaar. They have their own sort of printing, right? They don't use the all company have their own. They don't use the same printing. SAP has provided that software or that solution to print that invoice also. But as I said, every company needs to print their invoice as per their requirement. Some will say, I want to print the logo at the center. Someone will say, I want to print the logo at the bottom. Right? I want to print the customer GSTN number at the top. Right? Address I want this where. The input terms I want to be printed here. The material quantity I want to print here. So every company had its own requirement. So if that requirement, as I said, this printing of invoice is not fulfilling, you are not able to fulfill via SAP standard printing software or printing mechanism, you can use your own, right? So now there are few technical modules also, like basis module. Basis module is someone who will take care of all the server basically. Okay, as I said, application server, right? Application server is a big software, big server actually. Said it will have some 100 or 200, not 100, 1000 or 2000 GB, 2 TB of RAM it will have. So it's a big software. Then when you are running the SAP, you need to have some different, whatever, different client, right? Production client, development client, all those things you need to have. So those all division of the resources will be taken care by the basis module. Right now, there is the ABAP module. The ABAP module is someone who will write the code. If something you need to, let's say, if something is not possible via the standard functionality that SAP functional consultant cannot do via standard configuration, then we go to development, ABAP development. ABAP development is nothing but the SAP coding. Any software runs based on coding only, right? Any software, your be it Android, iOS, any machine, any software, it runs on coding. SAP runs on the ABAP coding. Okay, even whatever we do here, these all are running in the backend. Some code only is running, right? So that coding will be done via the in the SAP ABAP module. There will be some developer. Those people will be doing the development. Okay, so these two at least you need to remember. The basis module who takes care of your all the system requirement software, the application server, whoever takes care, that is the basis module. And ABAP is someone who will write the code. We don't write a code. We are the functional consultant, we don't write a code. We do the configuration, whatever is already provided in SAP. If it doesn't fulfill the business requirement, then we go for the development, and then we may need the ABAP coder or we may also not need. Okay, so this is what the ABAP module does actually. Any questions so far? Yeah, yeah, same sort of thing. Java, Python also they are running some. They are having their own programming language, right? So ABAP is nothing but the SAP programming language. Okay. When you become senior, you will understand some coding, but you cannot understand fully because it's a very big and vast software that you cannot understand completely. But some part of it you will also understand when you work with the web developer. Then also you will understand something how they are writing code and all. Something you will understand, not fully as I said, but some part of it you will be also be able to understand. Right. No, basis team is a team actually. When I say module, it's a department, right? In company we call it department. In SAP we call it module. So basis module will be a different team in an SAP. We are working as a functional consultant, so we are coming under this thing. SD consultant, MM consultant. We will do the configuration. We don't bother how much RAM that application server has, right? How much hard disk it has, whether how much load is there. We don't bother about all those things. Those things who will bother? The basis person, who is the admin. Okay. Mhm. No, basis module is different. If someone asks what a basis consultant or basis module does, you need to say they take care of your application server. Basically, that's it. Okay. There will be a different team for this one. Different team for ABAP also. We are not part of this team. We are part of a functional consultant team. Okay. Sorry, Kusman. That I think you need to check with Santosh. I think Kusman. Okay. They will provide you that. Now, once they provide you, then you will be also able to access like this. Okay. So that you can check with Santosh. I think let's stop here only. We'll continue tomorrow from here only. Any confusion? Yeah, same link only. Use the new link only. Whatever I provide. No, if we have to use Santosh link, no, then we have to wait for